His first solo album came about when Phil noticed a loophole in his contract.
Yeah, well, it was quite clever actually, because I went to the record company and I said, we'd found a clause in the contract that had me loose as a solo artist. So I went to the record company and I said, another record company has offered me a lot of money to make a solo LP deal. So they got in a big huddle and said, look, whatever they've offered you, we'll offer you twice as much. So I took a holiday in the Bahamas and finished the album 2 years later.
Here, Jim Fitzpatrick and Smiley Bulger recall some fond memories of one of their best friends.
I suppose the best one of all time I always think back on is a football match he organised down in the Borough Beach, the Hole in the Wall beach, where I still live until it was up to a while ago. But it was our local haunt and we used to hang out there a lot, but we also used to play football. But Philip organised a game, so he flew in people from London like Frankie Murray and a gang of people. Brush Shields was playing Old Bridge Man, just a gang of people. And it was one of those beautiful balmy days, you know, the sun shining, and there was like something out of, you know, another era. And we were all in our togs, and you know, he insisted we wear our shorts and t-shirts, the whole thing. It was great, wonderful day, you know. And he scored one of these scabby little goals with a back heel, and of course I was playing against him, you know what I mean? So I had to go up the other end and score the other end. But he was such a warm, wonderful person, you know, he really was. He was extraordinary, you know. I mean, I miss him even now, 10 years later.
Yeah.
I really do, yeah. It annoys me. I get annoyed when I talk about him sometimes, because I feel robbed, you know. I'm sure Phyllis feels this a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
But it's like someone wonderful in our lives who suddenly just vanished out of it, you know. Now, I know the last 2 years of his life weren't as beautiful as the previous rest of it.
Yeah.
But he was an amazing man, you know.
No, but it was just to continue with what Phiklomena and Jim were saying there. Like, he used to always make the distinction about, you know, when you'd be taught, he used to me act. You know what I mean? And he was one of the first people, like I stood like from them days, you know, because we were all living the rock and roll lifestyle, and I thought that, you know, rock people were the only people who were true to themselves, you know what I mean, that they were really, you know, sort of a cause, you know what I mean, like, you know, the Freeze and the bag companies and the Rolling Stones and all, they were the real, you know, the real item. But Philip was always talking about that, you know, he used to say, me act, you made me act. And like, he really did make that distinction when he went on the stage. That was his act, you know, the showmanship. And when he came off stage, he was very much the sort of, you know,
became himself again.
Yeah, he became
an ordinary person.
And
he was never ordinary. He was always extraordinary.
Yeah, and like so the act sort of grew from, you know, very humble beginnings into the sort of, you know, the world sort of figure that he was, you know, with the boys are back in town in Jailbreak and all the rest of it.
I always had this theory that Philip sort of, the minute he got off a plane, simply got straight down to Grafton Street. He didn't stop for anybody, didn't stop to even see his mammy. He just wanted to get to Grafton Street and strut, that's all. And I'd always meet him there, you know, see you down Grafton Street outside Beauty, 6 o'clock or whatever, you know what I mean? And Philip would just strut up and down. He loved it. He loved the attention. And he was such a warm person. He talked to everybody. Anybody who would stop him, he would talk to. He'd sign autographs. He'd talk to the flower ladies, as Philip said. Phyllis said. He was just wonderful. He was a totally outward person, but it was like all the accolades that he ever wanted were in one place at one time, and it was Grafton Street. I don't think anything else ever sort of mattered to him. I don't care what he got. And the achievements that he had in America and all the awards he got in England, I don't think they mattered a damn thing until he got to Grafton Street. That's when it all came together.
Sadly, Phil died at the age of 36.
After Philip died, I couldn't go to my local supermarket because a lot of people would walk up to me to give me comfort and stuff, and I would break down. So I decided to go a little further where nobody would know me, and I went to Super Thrift in Baldoyle. And I was in there one day, and they played music over the tannoy. Yeah. And one day I was in there, and I was still very nervous of being out among people, and I heard Philip's voice talking, and I had just reached up to get a can of beans or something, and I dropped it, for he was whispering. Now, if you know the song that he wrote for Elvis Presley, it was called King's Call. Somewhere in there he talks. And that is exactly. And I thought I really felt he was behind me talking, and I folded up onto the floor, and a lady ran over. She thought I was having a stroke, a fit, anything. And she said, "Can I help you? Can I?" I said, "Just get me out of here, quick." And when I got outside, 2 other ladies had helped by then, and they took me into a cafe 2 doors away, and they said, "Give this lady a cup of tea, quick." And as the lady walked over and gave me the cup of tea, they said, Still lying at its mother. And I was telling them why I'd heard Philip's voice. It had freaked me completely. Okay. And the lady giving me the cup of tea went, "Oh, I know Philip. I knew Philip very well. He tried to date me on the B&I boat." And it sort of made me, made me laugh.
Nobody phoned me. I just heard on the radio that Phil died. It was just like too unreal to even imagine, you know.
I was sitting with my ex-wife in the Bailey pub where we used to hang out with Philip. And this guy lifted up a paper, and the headline was Philip Lynott dead, you know.
I heard my wife give this huge intake of breath, right, and I knew that he was dead.
He had two sides to his nature. He was very romantic and very gentle on one side. On the other side, he was a hard man. God love him, wherever he is.
And he never ever put the phone down without saying, "I love you." And those words remain in my heart. And I loved him too, and I'm sorry, that's the story of my Philip. He was a great man.
Stockholm, I love you more than all the others. So I salute you, my Swedish brother. What you want to hear? What? Rosalie? Rosalie? What else you want to hear? We will play any song but Rosalie. You don't want to hear Rosalie. No, you don't really want to hear Rosalie. No, I'm making you want to hear Rosalie instead. Well, this is a trick to make you say Rosalie. What do you want to hear? No, it's a trick. No, it's a trick. You're falling for the oldest trick in the book. I'm telling you the truth. You don't really want to hear Rosalie. No, you don't. You don't. You don't. Oh, and I told you. You don't want to hear this song, but we'll play it anyway. You don't want to hear this, I'm telling you. No, honestly. For a cigarette. This is a number called No, we don't play a song called Rosalie. Honestly, don't believe a word. This is a number called Rosalie.